Once you have all of your stitches cast onto your circular needle, you want to make sure that nothing is twisted. You want to make sure that the little bumps are all along the inside of your needle. So if you have something like this, where these ones are facing inward, but these ones are facing outward, you just want to give them a turn so they're all looking at each other. And now you're ready to join, to knit in the round. You want to take your stitch marker, put it on your right needle, and what I like to do is knit a stitch or two with my tail here and the working yarn. And I'm just going to drop my tail, and you would just continue knitting all the way around as directed by your pattern. And when you get around to your stitch marker, that means that you have completed one round. And if you don't know, when you're working with a stitch marker, all you have to do is just slip it over to your right needle. And if you've worked the first few stitches with your tail and working yarn together like I did, you want to make sure that you're knitting both of those strands together when you get to them. And just keep going. Another way that you can join your knitting to work in the round is to just take the first stitch from your right needle and place it onto your left needle, and then the first stitch that's on your left needle, put it onto the right needle. Just swap them. And you want to make sure that your tail is coming from your right needle, by the way, if I didn't mention that before, when you're knitting in the round. So I'm just going to put this guy over there, and then grab the stitch from my left needle and pull that over. And now I'm going to put my stitch marker on here, onto my right needle, grab my yarn, and I'm ready to begin knitting in the round. And you can pull on your tail to tighten that gap up, or if there is still a little gap when you've completed your knitting, you can just use your tail to weave in and close up that gap. If you accidentally get a twist in your knitting and you catch it on the first round, you can fix it. I've taken my stitch marker off here just so that it's out of the way, but if you can see right here, these are the last 3 stitches of my round. My stitch marker would be right here between these two, and I have this twist in my knitting. Let me see if I can show you here. We have these stitches, they're all facing the correct way. But then when we get right here, you can see that these ones are pointing outward. So if you catch this on your first round, let me just knit the last couple of stitches of my round here. If you catch this twist on your first round, you can easily fix this by just taking your left needle and going under and back around. Let me straighten this out here a little bit. so that everything is all facing the correct way as it should for untwisted knitting. And you're ready to continue on with your rounds.